Hello, viewers and friends. My name is DAPZY'S, aka DAPZY'S. I'm a data analyst and scientist motivator who is motivating with a difference and with a sense of humor. All right. Today's our data content. I'll be talking on the topic SQL. I know a lot of us actually know what SQL means, and for those that are just novice in data analysis or data science, SQL simply means structured query language. Structured query language. Some people call it SQL. All right, however you want to call it, it's all right. But it's just about you knowing the concepts, okay? Um, so in my next class, we'll be delving into the practical aspects of it, but this is just the introductory part, which I'll just be talking briefly about. And to install SQL onto your system, okay, so that when next we meet, we start querying our database together. I will drop the link in the description below. So please just go to the description and install it via the link you're going to see there. All right, so what is structured query language? It simply means, the structured query language simply means querying your database, okay? Querying your database. We have different types of database. We have the relational database, the non-relational database, but we'll be dealing with the relational database. And I'll be taking you through the concept of structured query language. In time past, okay, there were ways whereby they use in storing files, storing documents. You remember during the days of our fathers, they use the file system. When they have any documents, any data, they keep them in a file. And then, before you know it, the file will be so large, documents will be so large that they will look for how to dispose them back in those days. And so that the cabinet was becoming so full, whereby you just have so many documents. This led us to what we now call the spreadsheet. An example of our spreadsheet is Excel. All right, so the Excel is a spreadsheet that we use in also analyzing and querying data. All right, and now what is data? Just as I've said before, data are just facts. They could also be called statistics. All right, for example, your name is a data, your age is a data, your weight is a data, and anytime you go to a store to purchase something, they get your data. And that's why you have a receipt. All right, the receipt actually states what you've bought, the items you've bought. All right, and so that supermarket or that store actually has data of everyone that's come to purchase something. All right, so they know the items that have been purchased. All right, so this also makes them to be able to make order of what they need or what they don't need. This also makes them to be able to make decisions as to what product is selling fast in that supermarket. And so even in the bank, when you go and deposit your money or withdraw money, every transaction you are doing, your data is being fed into the system. Right? Data is being fed into the system. So they will surely have your name. And that way they will have your address. Okay? Your address will be there, your name, a lot of things about you, your postcode, everything about you, about that account is there. And hence, they need a database to store this data. And as I said earlier, the Excel was very good, right, at doing this. But as time goes on, so we have billions of data that the Excel itself cannot even compute. If I'm not mistaken, I think the row in the Excel just has 1 million plus row and over 16 million columns. And so it cannot really take in much data, all right? And that's why the database came into being. The database came into being, which has really been helpful. It can store large volumes of data, which we call big data, okay? And so it's through the SQL, all right, our structured query language, through the database, we can actually query data, we can modify data, we can store data, all right, we can delete data, we can update data, all right. And we'll be going into this. I don't really like talking too much over this because it's something that we'll do practically, where we use the different functions in SQL, all right. One of the reasons why the Excel tool was not really dependent on tools, not that okay, was because in the Excel, you could have a situation whereby you could have have a list of people that's in the that's going to purchase something, and you could have someone who bears the same name appearing multiple times in your data set. So for example, you could have the name Akin, Peter Akin. Peter Akin can be two people, right? So Peter Akin lives in a different address. The other Peter Akin lives in another address. For Excel could treat Peter Akin as one person, all right, and which is not okay, which is not good for your data analysis, all right. But the database now came into being and would identify this individual as two separate people using what we call ID. So Peter Akin can have an ID 002. Peter Akin living in Ojuelegba Croft Street could have what? ID 002. While the other Peter Akin living in Iyano Kent Road, all right, could be having under ID 005. So the ID makes them to be separate entities, and thereby giving you a good result of your analysis when you start your analysis. Okay, so this is one advantage of the SQL. Okay, for this lesson in our next class, we'll be working with the PostgreSQL. Okay, so PostgreSQL is an open source query language, okay, which you can use to query our data. It's open source, it's free. That's what it means. So you can always download it, and don't always forget, when you're installing it, you would put a password which you must remember. That every time you log in, you will make use of that password to access or log into your PostgreSQL. Okay, we also have MySQL. We have different query languages, all right, and I would like you to read more about it before we come to the next class, where it will be hands-on with our laptop. All right, you'll see me querying language using querying the database using different functions that you would be familiar with very soon. Okay, so see you guys. All right, meet you there. Please don't forget, come into your laptop and get ready for the lesson. All right, please share this video so that others can also know about it, and then they could join the next class. Please subscribe if you've not done so. Like this video. Drop a comment about what you want us to discuss in SQL that I've not touched. So please just let me know so I can also prepare for it and feed into my next lesson. This is your introduction to SQL. I hope you enjoy it. Cheers.